Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. This is Crisis 169, aka coming to you live with the power of a live stream from my Spectrum Internet to YouTube to you. I'm here, you're there, get on it now. This topic is more of a preference video. People have asked me in the past what I've used, HDMI or display, and I would say, hey, HDMI, I would use that. That's what I've used for game consoles. So I used my 3070 at the time, even a few days ago. I said, you know what, I want to try display. I've been reading about DisplayPort. I'm going to go ahead and try DisplayPort 2.1. My monitor has both DisplayPort and HDMI. My monitor is a 31 by 5 Samsung Odyssey. Think it's six. I think 6 or 3. Um, and it supports. I do believe I have it right here. I gotta figure out what it is here. Um, um, I think it's Samsung. I think it's 100. 65 hertz. I know it's one of these bad boys. I can't remember what it's called right now. I gotta figure out what it is here. Get an idea what it is for you. I probably should have done that before I did anything else here, though, but I didn't. I didn't give you information on it. You know how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you do things to 1440p. Not much to got there. Here we go. Here it is. Yeah, it's Odyssey G5. It's exactly what it is because I see the ports I have here on the bottom of it. HDMI display. Um, Mine's not 27 inch though. Mine is the biggest one they have actually though, and it's a lot bigger than what they have here. A lot bigger than they have here. Um, it's a monster type of thing here though. And I say that because it's a monster type of thing, and it has everything it needs to have. It looks like right here. It could be it right here. But it's one of those things where you have to really um, a hey, sorry guys, I'm trying to figure it out here and get an idea what it looks like here. So I get an idea what I'm looking at here because I know it's one of these. I know it's one of these bad boys. Cause I know what it is. I just got to figure out what it is. Figure out what it is looks like. I know it looks like one of these. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Exactly what it is. Yep. That little design right there. Yep. Okay, this is Samsung Odyssey 1000R curved 65 hertz QR 1440p monitor. No, it's not that either. 34 by 40. Ah, man. It's pretty. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get the right one here. I get the right one here for you guys to understand what I'm looking at here. Though I want to make sure it's the right one. I don't get the wrong one. So you guys here, just bear with me here. My videos are usually long anyway. Not longer anyway than it usually is. But yeah, it's just one of those the Odyssey ones are pretty interesting. They have a lot of them, and kind of hard to find one when you don't know for sure exactly which one it is. I think I found it right here. I do believe 32-inch Odyssey heart monitor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have a 27-inch and they have a 32-inch. Looks like more like mine. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to figure it out here. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a pain in the butt here. I'm just trying to get stuff going here. Yeah, 2050, but the thing's a lot bigger than what it actually is. And I don't know what is wrong, but trying to think out here what. Yeah, sorry, guys. Just trying to figure out what it is here. Yeah. But it's a good sized monitor, though, what I got here. And it's a pricey monitor. And I can't find it where it's at. I have found one here that's almost like it, but not really the same thing. And I'm trying to find it, but yeah, it's a Samsung, obviously, and I can't figure out which one it is. I'm trying to figure out what monitor it is. So sorry, guys, but come bear with me here. Bear with me. I'm trying to get this information to you guys here. See if a better idea of what I'm looking at. Because it is 3440 1440p, 165 hertz, obviously. The name I couldn't tell you. I know it's Samsung. Well, that's about it. What I got on it though, and I'm trying to figure out what it looks like. Samsung. Um, yes. Uh, just trying to get an idea, guys. Sorry, really trying to figure this out quickly as I can here. Um, find something like it that's close to it. It does look like this one here. I know it does look like this actually. It probably is this anyway. Um, 32-inch 1440p monitor HDR monitor 289. This is a B&H. Um, it's like a thrift store, not thrift store, but it's like a business. It's HD video. Um, it's 32-inch. Mine has display and HDMI. And the video here was me rambling on about some kind of DisplayPort here. Was really looking at the situation at hand, looking at how this thing works and how it looks and how it defines itself. There is, you know, a much needed battle out there between the DisplayPort and HDMI. And ARZPA, the site I'm on, has HDMI versus DisplayPort resolution, refresh rates between HDMI and DisplayPort. One of the most significant differences between HDMI and DisplayPort lies and compatibility for handling high-resolution refresh rates. DisplayPort 1.4 latest version supports maximum bandwidth of 32 gigabytes, 0.4 gigabytes, allowing resolutions for 8K 60, 4K 120. Compared to the 2.1 HDMI, most recent HDMI standard, high bandwidth of 48 gigabytes, enabling resolution for 10K 120. With one seems to have an edge in terms of raw bandwidth. Important to note that Display 1.4 is more capable of handling a vast majority of modern displays. Most users, the difference in resolution refresh rates ports between two standards will be negligible. um, and it shows their HDMI 2.1 VPR support latest gaming consoles like PS5 and Xbox X Series handled differently. The tearing, when VSync is not available, VSync is noticeable. You notice screen tearing. What screen tearing is when an image tears. It literally tears. That's something that that needs to be addressed. Um, uh, really, it depends on home theater setup. HDMI's now the HDMI setup is as follows. I know, guys, most of my video was mostly rambling on about looking for the monitor. I do apologize, but the HDMI setup is for home theater systems, TV connectivity, simply easy to use. When to use DisplayPort is for PC gaming. If you're a PC gamer, DisplayPort is the way to go. Most common standard for monitors offering support high resolution VR technologies like FreeSync and G-Sync and high resolutions, professional workstations, multi-monitor setups. Future-proofing setup between HDMI and DisplayPort, both from standard continuously evolving. Display 2.1 announced 2019 deliver higher bandwidth than HDMI 2.1. Support for resolution 16K, refresh rate to 240 hertz. Also backwards compatible with previous DisplayPort versions, ensuring smooth transition. It shows here the release date of DisplayPort 2.0 versus HDMI 2.1. 2017, 2019 for 2.0 DisplayPort, 2017 2.1 HDMI. Bandwidth 48 gigabytes per second for HDMI, 80 gigabytes per second for the DisplayPort. Resolution wise, 10K up to 10K resolution. The DisplayPort 16K, 15,360 times 8640. The HDMI is 10,240, 4320. Number of the supported displays 2, and for this DisplayPort is 4. High resolution gaming, enhanced audio return channel, didn't have it on display. Quick frame doesn't have it on there. Data chaining, you can have it on there. Conclusion is going to be that it really depends on your needs of what you're doing. If you're going to buy DisplayPort, let's say you're going to buy a game PC and you got a business, say you're a state employee, federal employee, city employee, whatever, or just a landscape or whatever, or you just want to have multiple screens, DisplayPort's where to go. You can go up to 4 monitors of the same monitors together, or 2 big ones stacked together to make a seamless thing. With HDMI, you can only do 2. So there's limitations there what you can and can't do. But does it mean that one's better than the other? No. What it means is it depends on your setup and how you do your business. And I think most people um, forget today that gaming is based upon high refresh rates and quick snapping of the fingers and the hand movements to get the first kill in playing getting Battlefield, Call of Duty, CS:GO, Apex Legends, games of that nature. Racing games probably the same thing. You'll probably need to use DisplayPort maybe, or maybe even HDMI. But once again, though, it depends on what you're doing. PC gaming, DisplayPort is usually king. I've used HDMI for the longest time until quite recently, until yesterday. And I noticed a change in color and stuff. It looks a little different. I don't have much tearing on games. I used to have. I know it could be updates that came through. It could be graphics card updates. Could be whatever, or it could be the display port working. And I have a $10 cable. No, I didn't buy no $30 cable at Walmart or Best Buy. I went to Walmart and bought a $10 21 gigabyte per second display port cable, 6 foot. I didn't buy no master, gigantic, 20-foot cable. My monitor is huge and it's $400 worth. I am not going to throw the thing around and break it. Okay, I ain't doing that. I got Christmas 2 years ago, my birthday 2 years ago, my birthday 2 years ago, and I am not going to damage it. That's how I feel by it. So if anybody says, "Well, you don't understand," it's yeah, you need the latest greatest cables. No, you don't. You don't need to go to gas. Don't buy the gas station cables. Okay, if you go to Walmart and buy their cables or Electronic Express, the cables should be quite good. Micro Center, Best Buy will probably have the better choices, but you're paying for a premium product. And why pay $30 for cables if you're going to use them for display? And you got like say I have a 3070, so now I'm not gonna go. I know I'm not gonna go 8K anytime soon. So my 3070 ain't gonna do 8K. It can barely do 4K. So can't even do 4K. Can do 1440p, but with limitations. But I think it's time for us to really take a step back and look at which display port works for us. Is it 14? Is it going to be, if you're going to run 8K, you'll probably want to go display. If you want 1080p, you could probably go HDMI and get pretty good frame rates. 1440p, that's where you kind of need to draw a line in the sand, like where it's going to be. I switched from HDMI to display because my monitor is 1440p, and I did notice a lot more clarity. It looks a lot clearer on display than it does in HDMI. It could be maybe HDMI port is old, maybe it's not very good, whatever. It flickers a lot when I had it in HDMI and I do in display. It could be the issue. Um, but that being said, though, it still plays the game's thing. Now, depends on how you look at it and what you get from it. But I'm along the line of a guy who believes that you get what you put in for it. If you put in effort, you get effort out of it. If you don't, then you don't get any effort out. But it depends on what you put into it. If you got a 5090, then what I'm saying pretty much is obsolete to you because you probably got the best cables anyway. You better for spending $2,000 MSRP on a 5090. NVIDIA better dropped in some damn platinum gold, coated, you know, display and HDMI ports in that damn freaking cables and in that box you got because I think it's huge, huge box. But also, you kind of know what you need. Um, where a lot of people like myself who are still learning may not know what we need. Um, but I'm still rocking my 3070 quite well. Um, this may give a little more longevity to it. My brother-in-law sister said that display ports Trend did help better with frame rate and also G-Sync and like that. So maybe it might extend my graphics card a little more for me. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe not much, but a little bit more. Because right now I'm not going to rush out and go buy no $2,000 5090. I can't even fit it. I know I can't fit a 4090 in this rig. How am I gonna fit a 5090 in there? Lay it sideways, have sticking outside the box, have sticking on top. Not a good idea. So, in closing, guys, to close out this topic I started today, DisplayPort versus HDMI is more of a preference. It's more of a preference video. Education, but more of a preference video. If you're a display person like me, I came from the gaming consoles. All they had was HDMI. It's cheaper to make, so they had. So you went with that. But if you're a PC enthusiast, then displays are going to be the best for you. And I think that's where a lot of people don't really understand, where a lot of people don't get it. A lot of new people from console to coming PC. So a lot of people, a lot of noobs out there that may not get the talk of display and versus HDMI. So if you got a PC people out there, help these people out. Don't be assholes and go, oh, this. Be helpful, be understanding, because they're coming over and they're crossing over from the other side, from the console to the PC. Maybe they want a PC because their friends play PC, and they got tired of being a baby with consoles. And we shall welcome the new brothers and sisters to the PC Master Race, and welcome with open arms. Some of you are going to just be wow, whatever, because you buy pre-built or whatever nonsense. I did a video on that down below too, like up here I do believe, or down below, about pre-built versus doing DIY and the cost effectiveness. I may do that video again here in a few weeks just to get an idea how much stuff costs: 5090s, 4090s, 5080s, 3730s, 5070s, just to get an idea of what the latest and greatest costs and what the past cost, and have an idea. I might do that sometime. Well, guys, that's my video. Hope you like it. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell. See you guys later. Peace out. God bless all of you.